Utah, when I was a boy, everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist. And it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Twingate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen.
Well, good morning, all you sheep, painting goats, contemporaries. Hopefully we got a few people that can think for themselves, that have an IQ over 122, that are actually willing to get in the street, actually willing to do the work, actually dynamic enough to understand that this is a fucking shakedown. The whole country's a fucking shakedown. The whole country's being looted. The nuclear cartel, what a big week. What a horrible, horrible week in the evolution of mankind, of humanity, of all living creatures. The fucking nuclear cartel is just fucking spitting right in everybody's face. Now get this. I want you to Google Fukushima News on Google today. Articles all over. Why is Japan going back to nuclear energy? Just one article. Now get this. One article says, in spite of the fiasco. The greatest ecological mass murdering event in human history is a fiasco. Now I want people to very much understand these sociopath, mentally ill, sick fuckers restarted the reactor in Sendai. Why? Not for nuclear energy. They have to have the reactor in Sendai. That's where they moxie fucking the fuel for the nuclear fucking weapons industry. Oh, they're letting them back in. They're letting them back in so they don't have, well, all that means we're cutting off your payments. No more checks. We took your land, robbed your home, fucking your 1,000-generation fucking farms, your fishing industry. We wiped that off forever. Fuck you. Bye. None of the Japanese are going back. Its prime minister led the protest Monday and Tuesday in Sendai. You see that on the news? Armed guards arresting them. They were going to jail. People are being killed in Japan for protesting the nuclear. Look, until you guys can get this through your head, and that's because everybody skipped the third grade, remember there was a thing called World War II. The war to end all wars. The catastrophic fucking disaster. Yalta by the Sea 70 years ago. Churchill, Stalin, and fucking FDR met to divide up the world. That's right. Divide it up. And if you don't think they divided up, they're full. They divided it up. Now, the Eastern Bloc's falling apart. The United States got Japan. Japan is nothing but the United States experimental nuclear island. They experiment on everything. They experimented on the fucking economy over there. They experiment on technology. They experiment with everything. They experiment with eugenics. But the major thing is because they know, as soon as they knew before the bombs were dropped, they knew that this was going to be the new control mechanism of the earth. And if you don't think people are willing to slaughter millions, if not billions of people to hold power and control, you know nothing about world history. Nothing. These people are sick and evil. So the island of Japan is simply the United States, Livermore, the nuclear cartel through your tax dollars. Now, look, when it all happened, you were sold a bill of goods that it was magic. It was going to change the world. Too cheap to meter. Put a pellet in your car. You'll be flying jets and the like by 2000. You were sold all that shit on nuclear. Nuclear's magic. It's cold fusion. It's magic. They knew it wasn't magic, but they sold it to everybody. So along the way, then they Cold War, which never ended. Don't be about. That's the only reason they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima was in a fucking Stalin, because FDR dropped dead. Churchill weaseled his dick the way back in the fucking control. All the royals have been wiped out and killed. There was only fucking one group of royals left. The only group of royals left was England. They played longbow, buying up more and more uranium mines. That's what nuclear is. It's a control mechanism to power and threaten. The only thing that liar Barack Obama, what a sociopath he turned out to be. I mean, of the worst epic kind. Who ever believed to be a far-right, a neo-feudalist, globalist rat? I mean, nothing black about, boy, wow, what a con man. What a con man. That guy's the greatest con man I ever saw, ever. Wow. All nuclear. So, he said it when he's in Japan. These treaties were signed long before I was born. Japan's the United States. It belongs to the Pentagon. Read the treaties. 1,000-year treaty. So, there's 2 million American military personnel in Japan. Well, there's 800,000 military personnel that directly, Navy, in Okinawa. There's another 1.2 million that work for them directly. So there's 2 million that work for the Defense Department over there, Americans, on the island of Japan, which the 5-star, which I'm the one that exposed all that in the very early days, long before any FOIA document was around, that he had advised in the Situation Room and everywhere, all over, he had advised the evacuation of all 2 million men out of Japan. He stuck to it for a long time. So, and everybody's, well, God, I don't see him dropping dead. Cancer takes a while. It takes a while. The closer you are and the hotter you are, the faster it happens. Fukushima 50, 12 of them are dead. So, including the head of the Fukushima 50, who died very shortly thereafter. Oh, it's just coincidence he died of esophagus cancer. It's all coincidence. When the data is very clear, and they just sit and, Americans are in denial about everything. They're in denial about the economy. The American empire is not burning and crashing. The American empire is over. This great society that it was, it's gone. The great middle class that it had, not going away. It's over. Over. It happened from 1980. It's done. It's a neo-feudalist system. It's a royal system. Now, so you got a royal system. This fucking whole country is being run out of the House of Windsor. Fox News fucking is the mouthpiece. They're the fucking Provad. They're the fucking Google. By the way, Google. Now you think about that. Well, you know what we call them. We call the NSA, the CIA, all of them. The fucking scumbag EPA pulled their stunt. We call them alphabet agencies. Google's just finally just accepted it and went along. They renamed themselves Alphabet. They're like, okay, NSA took us over anyway, so we'll play along. What do we do? They just took them. Their new name's Alphabet. For real. So, there's another big story, then I'll fold this in together. I can tie them in together, and people are thinking, Spy Monkey and the CIA NSA's queen. She's the CIA NSA's queen. Her real name's not Sheila. CEO of Facebook, which ask the guys who really started Facebook. Ask that little, wormy rat that was placed there. Facebook 100% freaking NSA. She's placed there to run it. Her net worth on paper they show is worth $2 billion. So that means that's what she's paying taxes on. She's only in her 40s. Dig into her real name. I want you to do it. She's directly related to the Rothschilds. I'm not kidding. Okay, so I report the second I hear about it. Trotsky to the head. I'm like, bullshit. He didn't fall no treadmill. It's a murder. He was at Skull and Bones. He came from freaking Harvard Law. He's one of Barry's freaking clonies. He's one of the Skull and Crossbones clonies. So is she. Now, she's even bigger than that. She's directly related to the Rothschilds. So now, Four Seasons, the resort, just like I said, came out and they says, what are you talking about? He was never a registered guest here. He was never on our property. Ha! The report, and I mean, you think about it, this is one of the richest couples on earth. Multi-billionaires. I mean, you're talking Forbes fucking 400, probably really 100 list. And young. Skull and Crossbones said, no fucking media. Nothing. So, nobody touched this for the 10-foot pole. He's found dead. He ain't very old. There was some bullshit statement come out that he fell off a treadmill, and then they backed off that. And he was found dead at Four Seasons just laying in a room. A blow to the head. No autopsy. By the way, they had to delay all these stockholder meetings because she sits on the board of all, I think even Google. Maybe not Google. It was one of the major freaking spy freaking companies. Delayed their earnings report for the funeral. Quiet funeral. No autopsy. Real covered up. Most covered up thing. You're talking one of the richest couples on earth. This guy was murdered. Everybody says, oh, they sent a message to her. Oh, no. She killed him. It's Trotsky. Are you kidding? My guess is they probably had some strained relations, and the whole apparatus is like, this whole thing you got in financial trouble, somebody says, are you fucking kidding? These people were multi-billionaires. I'm not talking about with a B, billionaires. We're talking maybe with the richest couple, young couple in America. Rothschild. They whacked that fucker. They're like, hey, you guys are going through a fucking, spat, whatever, and look at her. Oh, my God, is that girl ugly. Oh, the typical freaking overcompensation, fucking, trying to act like a dude because, she's just plain born ugly. I mean, ew. And so it all ties in. Now, here's how I can tie it in. And people can't follow on because I don't know what is the matter with people. Look, Abe comes to the United States. The Prime Minister of Japan. Which, by the law, look at the treaties. Look at the treaties not only say we completely run it, we elect their presidents. They're all free elections over there. Now, so the ex-Prime Minister, he goes on the road with Gregory Jackson protesting nuclear, right? The head of the NRC. And the Harvard planner. I know him very well. I know them all. I've met him many times. I know Gregory. The Harvard planner I know really well. From the San Diego shutdown. He lives down there. They're told to stand down. You haven't heard of people from them. Remember they were out protesting? Well, he's protesting, the ex-Prime Minister. Now, he was in Australia at the Queen's Uranium Mines, and we have that incredible great activist down there, Kylie Fitzwater. She's the best activist in Australia. You say, oh, what about Helen? Helen Caldecott works for the nuclear industry. So does Arnie Gundershall work for the nuclear industry. So does Kevin Camp. They all work for the nuclear industry. You do understand that. You do understand the money they make. You do understand. Helen Caldecott told me right to my face at her symposium that I could not use the F word, and she's not saying fuck. Couldn't say Fukushima. Blackballed. They all work. They're all promoted by the industry as the false equivalency. It's the oldest playbook, and it works. They're not anti-nuclear. They've made a lot of money. So, anyway, the ex-prime ministers, I wrote the question. Tidy's the first question up. And simply I wrote the question was, you were asked after Fukushima why you were all pro-nuclear, why you were running the country, well, pretending you're running the country, and now you're not. You said that the CIA, the American, made you do it. The United States made you do it. So the question gets ready to cover. He cuts off questions both out. He led the protests in Japan on Monday and Tuesday. He let it. Rust all over. They started up the plant saying that plant doesn't produce any nuclear energy. That plant's there to moxie fuel for the nuclear weapons industry. And it's big money in the freaking moxie fuel nuclear weapons. And when I was in Vienna, so I timed it for when I timed it. They call it WIN. So the WIN, I was there. I know a lot of them would be there. And by the way, the one guy that surprised me that was there, showed up, was the executive from Arriva. Now, why the fuck's he there? Because the French companies are going broke. He's there fucking getting the bell out and a handout. Look, we'll militarize and fucking colonialize, and we'll keep fucking doing this thing, exploiting our neighbors and fucking the whole world, the French fucks, they are, as long as, you know, we're going broke. The French government owns the nuclear, you know, they own Arriva. Arriva's stock's down 85%. They're going bankrupt. Anybody, it has to be subsidized. Look, so there's a thing called Price-Anderson. Congress passed it. What does that say? Price-Anderson says it's more than just there's no liability. So there's no liability in the nuclear industry, which Price-Anderson, now you get to think I'm crazy, but it's true. The American law rules over Japan. The treaties, when it was written in Price-Anderson, all these rules, they knew that the Japan experimentation was going on. So what's going to happen, any dime that gets paid out, the industry's not going to pay because it's not the industry. The American taxpayer is going to pay, even in Japan. It's bigger than the bank. Same with the lawsuit. G's liquidating, and they just throw their hands up and run to Price-Anderson and say, here's the law right here, blah, 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 blah. Here's the law. You, the taxpayer, are going to get stuck. This lawsuit's going to bankrupt, well, this country's already bankrupt. So they're over there protesting their ass off. So Price-Anderson not only says that you cannot, there's no liability on these guys, but it subsidizes the entire industry. You pay for it, you build it, you fucking maintain it, any accident, you pay for it. The American taxpayer. That's right, in Japan. In the UN Charter, the same thing. They captured the UN in 1959, the nuclear industry. The world taxpayers pay for all this. So when I'm in Vienna, they're trying to create an exchange because there's big money in this shit. It's the new gold, plutonium. So there's so much waste kicking around. They're like, why do you think they never centralized it after Congress passed it? Congress passed it. Now you think about it. If you think there's any laws in this country anymore, I mean, and we'll get into that about the bombs in Nevada. So they just make it up as they go. Law passed that all the nuclear waste from all these reactors had to be the other amount. That's the law. That's the fucking law. Why is it not? And that was passed in the 70s. Who gives a fuck about law? Leave it on say. So we can sell it around the world. We can exchange it around the world. We can take it. We can create an exchange. We can mox it. They mox it in Japan, in Sendai. They mox it in number 3 in Fukushima. We all knew that long before the disaster happened as activists. Fucking, we all knew that. Fucking, I gave hundreds of lectures fucking saying just this. Lots of people did. Monet did. Even that fucking rat Kevin Camps did. He even went over there. You know, she was over there how many times? Fine. So, they moxie fool there. It's the world's fucking, look, if you don't think societies as they get stronger power want to just take over the fucking world, you know, the Third Reich, I mean, all of them. I mean, it's over and over. Look, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire that existed for, you know, I mean, fucking controlled that whole region for how long? Was crumbling. It was falling apart. There was a vacuum there. Germany decided to take the vacuum, the group, you know, Hitler's handlers. Hitler was their puppet, an evil, sick fucker. That's what these evil, sick fuckers do. They find these sociopaths who got no conscience. It's hard to find them, but they can identify them. Barack Obama. Bush, well, we all know the Bush family has. I mean, that's a Bush family characteristic. A Bush family characteristic, which is genetic. They know it's genetic. They know the Bush family characteristic. You know, Prescott H. They know that they're sociopaths. They know that they have no conscience. They know, you know, that it's a family trait, and proud of it. Bill Walmart Clinton. They captured the Democratic Party in the 90s. Perot called it out. They completely took it. There's nothing Democrat about the Democratic Party anymore. They were the party of labor. They were the party of, the underprivileged, whatever, the working class. They took them. They took them completely. They're the same two parties. They're both neo-feudalists. They're globalists. Both parties. The Democratic Party is the party of globalists. The Republican Party is the party of globalists. They're globalists. So they find these sociopaths. The greatest evil, sick sociopath, I believe, in my lifetime, Barack Obama. I voted for him. We were that fucking desperate. We were that desperate. I'm going to talk about a couple things about him, about the nuclear industry, and this is how sociopath he is. And Mike Lee right here. Now, I'm going to do a video today. I might even make the video while I'm on the phone, so you can listen to how I do it, and just show you how organic and how improv my art is and my work is. It's all improv. Okay, I asked Mike Lee at the university right to his face. Now, I want to lay the background on this. I was walking through the Union at Weber State, and I saw a girl that I knew there. I says, "Oh, you work for Mike Lee now?" "Yeah." I says, "Well, he's speaking here today, and I got a heavy, hard question. I'm gonna go right at him, and I don't play I got you, because my guess is that he has no clue what Fukushima is, and I don't want to play I got you with the guy, because it's going to go on YouTube and it'll get a lot of views, and it's going to be an historical document. Preppy, because the Olene Walker Foundation up there, her mom was my second grade teacher. Lived right out here, very close with her. Mr. Smith, the Department of Education guy, which is wonderful. And then Olene, who was the governor here, the first, appointed. Anyway, I'm very close with her. I was. And so some of the people that run it, I know how to do this. And I said, I will guarantee I will be the first question up. Because, I'm good at this. I know how to do it. I've done it for a long time. So she has him prepped. So I asked him, and there's a YouTube video. I'm kind of holding it gut sideways, but it's there. You can hear it very well. And I says, "Mike, how come we're not talking about Fukushima? It's the greatest threat to the economy. It's the greatest thing, because he's a phony. He's a total 100% fraud. He's running for Senate, the United States Senate, during the Teabagger Revolt, on a fiscally responsible platform while his house is in foreclosure. He's the guy who got food stamps cut $9 a month. That was his baby. That's his claim to fame. By the way, while he got $600,000 in a government bailout via the bank bailout on his house. Never made a payment on the house. First sitting United States Senator in the history to have his house foreclosed on. But he's given this speech about here in Weber County where we live, everybody works for the government, and he's just bad-mouthing the federal government. And everybody's, yeah, when they work for the federal government. So I says, "Mike," and he says, "Well, we recently this is how pathetic he is. We just recently found out that my dad was a downwinder. His father died of leukemia, just like I had. Young, like in his 40s. And I'm going to talk to Senator Wyden, and he promised me to get right back to me. His aide, that guy was going to get right back to me, blah, blah, blah. They never did. Of course, they lied. So, now, look, his father is murdered by the nuclear industry. Downwinder in Utah. Just like Scott Mouth and our government did. Everybody knows here. Well, they did. They've just gone in denial about it because they've lost their cognitive discourse. And I get into that. Freud talked about how and why. Because they're sexually repressed. Freud talked about a woman gets sexually repressed, blah, blah, blah. Their cognitive discourse will fracture. They can have a conversation. They can't even think logically. They'll become fearful of their own mortality, and they will prey on them with fear. He said it then. He was exactly right. So, I think Mike Lee, is it just ignorance in his case? Is he that pathetically stupid? I think there's a possibility he is that pathetically stupid. I think he's that dumb that he doesn't realize he's a downwinder. He doesn't realize he's supporting the very thing because his handlers, he's a crook. But I don't know. He's got a BYU law degree. He was, Scalia's now, or excuse me, there's Freudian slip, Alito's staffer. Now, get this. We got, 4, 5 Supreme Court justices that are all about 80 years old now. And the rat, we know who the rat of all the rats are. And by the way, Alito and Roberts should not be there. They were appointed by an illegitimate president. That's not my words, that's Byers' words. That's true. Bush didn't win, he appointed them. So, which controls the world, the Supreme Court, which is, it's no court. It's a fucking ideologue fucking bloodbath. And, by the way, Scalia, look up his birthday. That's right, 3/11. Can't make this shit up. So, is he that stupid? I don't think so. I think he's that fucking sick. I think he's fucking mentally ill sociopath. His brother's on the Utah Supreme Court. By the way, they have me blackballed. So, then you got Barack Obama. Barack Obama's mother grew up in Kansas. 350 open-air tests, one across southern Utah hardcore. That's where they made sure the one was born. And if you don't believe me, you need to read Under the Cloud by Richard Miller. I knew him very well. He was here doing a lot of work. I knew him through Stegner, through Abby, through the whole, everybody was here. It's an amazing book. I mean, it's very heavily researched. Talks about the cancer and the death in the 60s, 70s, clear into the 80s in Kansas, in Oklahoma. So the nuclear cartel industry killed Barack Obama's mother. So, as they killed Barack Obama's mother, how old was she? She died of cancer? Horribly, tragically. They murdered her. So this sociopath, mentally ill, sick fucker, he is the nuclear industry. You do understand that. He is the nuclear industry. 100% lock, stock, barrel. This is a sick, demented sociopath. They say that when they make the decision who to drone, whatever, he's personally making the decision. It's not some military brass apparatus. He sits there and watches. They said he gets his jellies up watching. What if he holds his Nobel Prize? He's a sick. Now let's think about this. Never knew the father. I mean, all he did was inseminate her. That's all. So he was, so. He never knew him. So she marries the Thailand cat. He's living in Indonesia, where child abuse is totally not only legal, it's encouraged. Slavery is totally legal and encouraged. Started smoking at 4 years old. Very abused. Just like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. Same MO. Tall. Harvard Law. Sociopath personalities. Don't give a fuck who they fucking kill, hurt, whatever. They don't give a fuck about their own fucking family. Could care less. Same with Hillary. Same with all of them. That's who they find. These fuckers. So Abe goes to, when he comes to the United States, the Prime Minister. Now you'd think this would be a big deal, going to give speeches, whatever. First off, Harvard. Private institution, which we know is the head of the snake. The whole thing's being run out of skull and crossbones, Harvard, Yale, fucking the universe, that's what they've turned into. Then he sneaks over to MIT Media Lab. MIT Media Lab, that's the people who killed Aaron Swartz. That's the people that fucking run the fucking propaganda machine. The whole fucking cover-up of fucking Fukushima is being run out of MIT Media Lab. I run into the MIT rat at the Metropolitan Museum in New York. Ackerman broke up the freaking fight, and I still don't understand why he broke that up. He should have let me freaking go off on him. But anyway, he thought he was going to sell him a painting. So, anyway, it was funny, by the way, and Ackerman was hilarious. The whole gig was hilarious, actually. But this ain't hilarious. So you got Barack Obama, Barry. They find him, promote him up. They're like, oh my God, he looks black. He's tall. He's a charismatic speaker. He's a pathological fucking, they have these mental evaluations. He says it himself, sleeping in his car. He's confused in L.A., Occidental. They found him, bad grades, whatever. But he met the fucking profile. They searched for these profiles. Tall, high IQ, abused, no conscience, willing to kill anybody. And that's who all world leaders, these evil lords, that seek out power, that's who they all are. They have the same MO. All of them have the same MO. I mean, it's this royal fucking inbred, they're unloved children, they're sick fuckers. He's a sick fucker. So, he waits till his second election. He's got everybody so conned, but I mean, what's the alternative? Mitt fucking Romney, his name's Willard, by the way. Okay? And I'm standing here in Willard that, He's named after here in Utah, which he never grew up in Utah. Had nothing to do with Utah. The Romney family fled Utah, went to, because they're polygamous when they rounded them all up, and they in northern Mexico. The Romney family is the drug cartel in northern Mexico. Look it up, for real. The Romney family, you heard me right, are the drug cartel. There are some sick, so the kids that live here, they are some sick, inbred, freaking, ugly sociopaths with money with low IQs. Inherited wealth, the same fucking elitist royal type thing that the United States fucking fought against and overcame. So who are we going to vote for? So he waits till right after he's elected, Barack Obama, the second time. Now, in 1963, John Kennedy signs the open-air test ban. One of the greatest, I personally believe that's why he was murdered. But he went against the military, went against everybody. And he talked about, he'd read Rachel Carson, that she'd just come off her tragic death. So it was powerful. It was an amazing time. He talked about leukemia. He talked about offspring, blah, blah, blah. It's an incredible speech. And so he did it. Well, most of the country didn't know that they were secretly still doing them underground. The activists of the world knew. They're fucking bitching and bitching and bitching. Finally got contemporized. What the fuck? H. Bush. Now think about this. CIA Bush. Because Reagan was still, because Teller was still alive. Teller didn't die till 2003, that rat. I think he's buried on Stanford, that fucking Hungarian fucking piece of shit. I don't care who I poison as long as I beat those fucking Russians. Teller, who fucking poisoned the world. Who they pushed Oppenheimer out, they pushed Einstein, found Teller. So, the sick fuckers, he finally says no more underground testing. Banned it in 91. Right out here. So signed the law. The law is very concrete. His son tried to backdoor the law. His handlers, the puppet that he was, they tried to backdoor it. Didn't work. So again, Barack Obama, you think he cares about law? You think any of these fuckers care about law? Look it up. December 6th, 2012. Underground test in the Nevada test site. Look it up. So how can they do that? It's against law. So what they said, people went out because they tried to do it secretly. And, a few bloggers and bloggers found out, freaking blah, blah, blah. Here's what they say. Oh, well, the type of nuclear bomb that we use, the plutonium bomb that we use, well, it didn't have a chain reaction. So it's not officially like the bomb. Just making it up. It's still a pig. They put lipstick on the fucking pig and say, now it's not a fucking pig. It's Madonna. It's fucking, Marilyn Monroe. It's, oh yeah, that wasn't those names either. Oh, I forgot. That was all fucking made up facade shit too. Wow. Oh, I guess America is a fucking masquerade party. It's a facade. They all change their fucking name. It's all a fucking masquerade party to loot. Well, they done looted it, but now they're fucking mass murder fucking cars. This middle class fuck, please. There's a few people that, you work for the government, you're surfing. Or you got some job that's tight, you got a surfing job. You're fucking paying so much in fucking property. We're so overtaxed, it's ridiculous. Plus, they got our social safety net. We're taxed more than people are in Denmark, but Denmark and places like that, they have a social safety net. Austria has they have social safety net. We don't here. And there's an answer. You could lower tax dramatically in this country and bolster the safety net, social systems, and pay off the debt all at once. Oh, that's impossible. No, it's not. Same thing Hamilton did. Put a tariff at the fucking port. Want to bring these cheap Chinese fucking goods? So, this motherfucker, who they murdered his mother. How can this guy has a high IQ. He knows. Remember when his mom died right when his grandma died right when he got elected? Fuck, that guy, I never seen such unemotion. He didn't give a fuck. This guy don't give a fuck. His own children, he don't give a fuck about his own children. He's poisoning the earth, giving them a high probability of getting it. And everybody comes around and says, well, these fucking oligarchs, they have a pill. And I was in that fucking ball. I saw a lot of very, very rich people die. And no one died of this. Steve Jobs died of it. Granted, they get better care. My guess is Jamie Dimon's being kept alive right now. Sure, you don't hear nothing from him. But he come back and declared himself better, which same Tony Gwynden's the same thing. All these people that do this, then see they're so rich, their money actually hurts them being that rich, because then they go to Huntsman or they go to Scripps, because Huntsman and Scripps in San Diego and Utah have branded themselves as being these elite, the luxury good of death. And when actually neither one of them rank in the top 100 in saving anybody from these cancers. So that's where they go. And they make them comfortable, and they just extort all their wealth, and they die. So that's what happens to these guys. And then they, oh, you're doing great, you're doing good, yeah, rah, rah, ring the bell, clap, hee. I'm like, don't pull that shit on me. They tried that shit with me a couple times, a couple of those people. I'm like, fuck you, I know better, I know that, because I did all my homework. I knew the probability of it coming right back and mowing you down was fucking 85%. I'm like, don't declare me fucking better, fuckhead, I'm not better. I know how long I got to go. And then, my doctors, they knew. They never declared me better. Oh, they knew. They were wonderful, amazing. Got lucky getting in there. So, these are sociopaths. The nuclear industry runs the world. Look, you look up the subsidy through the government taxpayer on all alternative so-called other energies. I think they subsidize 13 energies. If I'm not, I'm pretty sure it's 13. You take all other 12 besides the nuclear, times it by 12, that you don't even get to what's on balance sheet subsidized to the nuclear industry. It's just a big faucet at the Manhattan. It's just money just flows. Then you throw in the military defense that's off balance sheet that goes towards nuclear. And the Patriot Act under defense that goes towards nuclear. It's the perfect storm for fucking killing America. It's the perfect storm for destroying the world. It's free fucking money and massive. At Livermore, for instance, the nuclear scientists there, the weapons designers, they're private contractors, by the way. So you go to work there, they sign a private contract deal with you. $1.5 million a year. They don't do anything. Now, there's a report, one of them calls himself Hurricane down there. The secondary ones make between $350,000 and $700,000. They don't do anything. Like I say, they have the highest suicide rate of any employer in California. The secretaries, they kill it. Oh, I wonder why. Bring yourself up. I mean, it's a fucking, you can just feel that fucking grotesque, horrible mass murder, sociopath energy that flows through those fucking buildings. I was out there. On day 1000. Heather and I was out there. And, we went there Thanksgiving Day. I was there for 4 days protesting. Had a Berkeley professor there showed up, University of San Francisco lit professor, but it was pretty well me, Heather was there for a while. And that fucking place, even she says, oh my God, this place is so fucking creepy out here. It's the creepiest place in the fucking world. I'm here to tell you. And believe me, they're building some condos right across the street from it. And they got a wine tasting fucking nice. Come taste. Have your PU fucking 39. Ooh, we have a really good Chablis. Try this. 1945, August 9th. Ooh, how about this? 1986. April 26th. That one tastes good. That's really a nice fucking color to that one. Sick motherfuckers. These sick, and it says bringing star power to Earth all over in there. So these fuckers, it's just free money, and they seek out sociopaths. Well, it's all done through MIT and Cal Berkeley, which is Skull and Crossbones. Skull and Crossbones, and it all started with FDR, with the administration. Now, Wallace was the fucking vice president for 3 administrations, handpicked by her. Mrs. Robinson, Mrs. Roosevelt, Mrs. Roosevelt. Eleanor's handpicked. She had a lot of power. Do not kid yourself. Was not Hillary. She had a lot of fucking political fucking clout power. She was a political activist. An amazing one, by the way. And, I mean, she made mistakes. Fuck, of course. Who didn't? But what happens? He gets elected for the 4th term. They know the war's coming to an end by now. Inside the fuck thing, the Masonics that fucking still got power, they're running the fucking world. They know that Stalin has the bomb. They know it. They're in communications with the Soviets. Come on, they're their allies fighting the fucking Germans. Stalin fucking, remember they supposedly had fucking Hitler's skull in Russia. Now we find out it's the skull of a woman. So they let him get away. I'm sure of it, in Argentina. But You know, they had all the Nazis here. I mean, come on, the corporate elitists had all the power here still. Ford and the boys, GM, they had all the power. You know, they were Germans. You know, so they were all protected. So what happens? They fucking pick Truman? Where the fuck they find this fucker? You know, oh my God, read into that psycho fucking bitch he was married to. Oh my God, talk about fucking mentally ill. They found the guy, met the fucking MO. The deal maker, it wasn't about have people killed. Kind of like Johnson. Johnson wasn't prayed to fucking have people killed. He fucking Texas, look him up, hey, he wasn't a fucking, that's what he did to adversaries, which has gone on and fucking for the whole history of mankind, which these fuckers don't care who they kill. These fuckers are sociopaths. They have no conscience. They don't care. I mean, you think about it. Mike Lee, dad, killed Downwinder in Utah. He admits it, my dad is Downwinder. Yet he supports the very nuclear industry that killed his father. Okay, he has no political clout. He's a fucking junior senator. He's just a fucking blah Utah moron. But Barack Obama? Oh, you don't think he wills power? Open their fucking, he does an underground fucking test against the world law, against international law, he don't give a fuck. Fuck you. It's like international treaty and law. So Megan Rice breaks into Y-12. By the way, plowshares need to pull their fucking heads out of their fucking asses and quit talking that shit that, nuclear bombs are bad, nuclear energy is good. They need to pull their head out of their ass and realize they're the same fucking thing. Hello. Fuck. Her mother knew it. So, the law, international fucking law. They can't be making more nuclear bombs. They have to be making less and getting rid of Gorbachev Reagan. They tied his hands behind his back. So, the softball passes resistance they've relied on here, which Utah set the playbook. You got professors at the university, you got KUTV, you got fucking, the Trib who quit being like that, quit being like Sugar. Let's have a discussion. Let's invite Bagley in here. Let's have it in the, and it's pathetic third grade fucking tired, ridiculous knowledge with there's no fucking contemporary about it. I guess it is contemporary. There's nothing fucking truth about it. There's nothing in the reality of the fight. No one wants to talk about the reality that Japan belongs to the United States. Japan belongs to the United States Department of Energy. The island of Japan is nothing more than the United States Department of Energy's nuclear island. It's their experiment. And by the way, first they used to say, 48 reactors shut down. Fuck, 44 reactors shut down. When there's 58. We're not going to count the ones that just purely fucking nuclear bombs. That's all of them are. That's what the entire island is. They depopulate it? Oh, fucking A, they are. Slaughtering those fucking people. I mean, it's a small place. We already took out a big old place and nobody can ever go back forever. I was in fucking Austria with Roadside Picnic. He showed me that he's been in there. There's a fucking train that runs from Tokyo to fucking Fukushima. 8 times a day. 8 times a day. Just the guy that's on it. Through the ghost chain. It's the most bizarre thing you think. It's like fucking, because they're nah. Not one single person on the train. But it goes, they back and forth because they're just going on like nothing happened. Oh, the fucking fiasco. The greatest ecological catastrophe that's fucking killed the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean's dying in free fall. All the animals are washing up dead and you're just going to go take a selfie with it. The emperor has no fucking clothes. The American populace is not only fucking hypnotized, they're fucking beyond ignorant. They're just plain fucking stupid. Is it their fault? I don't know. I struggle with that. They gutted the information. They took the fucking tariffs away. They make you work longer and longer. But without the fucking breath of the American populace going along with this, none of this could happen. Well, the breath of the American populace went along with it. I mean, I used to argue with people now, what the fuck are you talking about, this free trade shit? Are you fucking nuts? There's fucking 2.5 billion workers on Earth. They use slaves all over Earth. What, are you going to compete with slaves? Hello? I mean, what are you doing? We're going to sell our goods. What goods? What fucking goods are we going to make here? When you can make the same good over there fucking with slaves cheaper. The only thing we export is cancer. Bombs. Plutonium at Sendai, Japan. So 1 gram of plutonium is worth $6,000. So they're trying to create an exchange. They want to make it in Kazakhstan where the deer and the antelope used to play. Okay, so I'm staying at one of the hostels in Prague. I meet this guy. He's working. He's Australian. I said, "Who do you work for?" And he says, "Oh, I work for Rio Tinto, you know, blah, 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 blah." Really? What do you do? And then he was telling me about, oh, yeah, the big boom place right now is Kazakhstan. And I says, oh, yeah? Uranium mines? Yeah, how'd you know? I says, yeah. You do know about all the fucking antelope dropping dead there. 120,000 of them. Over half just dropped dead. Well, that was never reported on. And I said, the fuck it wasn't. Look it up. So I says, here, Google it. He's like, oh, my fucking God. Everybody's going over their work. I says, yeah. Talk about fucking job security, huh? Okay, yeah, there's some real job security when you fucking got cancer and dead. So people are willing to do anything for money and go into anything fucking situation because they're that ignorant. They will choose some bullshit fucked up job to exploit the earth and kill the fucking earth for profit. Then they just go into now. Well, look, you just sawed off 30 years of your life. They're willing to give up 30 years of human life for some money. Because they've been had. Popism is dead. Popism, there you go. They've been had. They think wealth is money. When our parents and our grandparents knew better. They knew it was not money. They wanted just a good security. By the way, if you go to Austria, you go to Hungary, you go to the Czech Republic, you go to those areas, it's very similar to what the United States, as far as their property goes, was in the 60s and 70s. It reminds me of it. The people look like the people lived here in the 60s and 70s. They, very sexually open, they're very confident people about their own happiness, their own life. You know, they protect the fuck out of their food chain like we used to. They protect the fuck out of their jobs like we used to, especially in Austria. You know, so it's very similar. It reminded me of growing up in Ogden, Utah. When I was in Vienna, it reminded me so much of growing up here. You know, of course there's wealth mixed in Vienna. You know, there's a lot of oligarchs there, but that's the way it was here, too. Now we're extremely poor. The whole country's poor. You know, the country's broke. They're fixing? Of course it could be fixed, but not, I've been asked this for years. How does it fix when all the fucking baby boomers are dead? And if you don't think it's not eugenics, I mean, Holden's running the fucking show. They could have entombed it. They could have entombed it. J Village. Do any of you know what that is? Couldn't find anything when I Googled it. They got a CERN in Japan. We know that. As with hardcore activists, we know that. We know that there was underground fucking stuff all over at Fukushima before. They didn't have to build tunnels for the workers to go in on the back. They go in 13 miles on the backside. So you have people sneaking into fucking, we snuck into Fukushima. We can see it all. You ain't seeing nothing. You ain't seeing nothing. It's all being done underground. And they didn't have to build it. It was already there. There are nuclear weapon facilities. The point of China, these war colleges and these fucking think tanks, they're way out in front. They've been way out in front of me. They're fucking thinking about the war between China before fucking, 100 years in advance. I mean, they lay out the scenarios. They play risk. This is a monopoly game to them. They're playing risk. That's all they play. That's what they do. This is a game that somebody says, oh, is Barack Obama playing fucking checkers or is he playing chess? I'm like, the motherfucker's playing Monopoly like the rest of them. They're sociopaths that just care about themselves. And, remember when Bush says, I'm going to be just like Bill Clinton. I'm going to go out on the fucking road, blah, blah, blah. Perot, which was a billionaire. Perot used to say, fuck, they're twins. They're fucking identical twins. Now they're all, and they always were. We were just too fucking stupid, too blind to see the writing on the wall. We were not ready for the fucking fall. For the light, it shine. I mean, even me, as much as I knew about it, I was still thinking, oh, fuck, it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. I'm strong. I remember 3 days before I got fucking sick. My fucking punk-ass fucking nephews, those little fuckers, well, they're actually my cousin's kids. They really think they're tough guys. They're at the gym. I said, fuck, you guys ain't shit. Fuck, I'm an old geezer. Fuck you, old man. They're teasing. We're joking around, like we do. And I'm like, let's have a contest. What do you want, old man? I said, okay, you two are what, in your 20s? Yeah. You combine, you pick sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, racing, whatever. Me against you. Let's have a competition, a bunch of families there. Oh, fuck. I will add your scores together and I'll still beat yours. Okay, we'll do so they rattle off. Between the two of them, they get, about 100 fucking 53 push-ups. Each one of them does 50, the other is 53. I rattle off like, I stopped when I passed them. I was at 112. It's kind of physical condition, I'm saying. So, fuck, this can't ever handle me. I'm that strong. I'm that physical. It ain't gonna handle me. I'm that aware. Now, did I eat all the right? Fuck, I look back, I thought I did the right. I didn't. I used to drink American fucking dark beer. Now I won't. Because now, since I got cancer, I learned what they put in the American Guinnesses and the American things. I mean, fucking inject them with creatine. And I always liked the good organic Czech beer. Everybody does, but you can't get it here. Over there, fuck. You're over there, 80 cents a glass, 40 cents a glass. And it's clean. But I didn't do the right. I didn't think it happened, but it happened to me. Just boom, like a freight train hit me. I ran into this beautiful young woman in Prague. Amazing. Beautiful young girl, and we're just talking. We're drinking beer at a little pub. She's asking what I'm doing here, blah, blah, blah. And I told her I'm an anti-nuclear activist, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, basically I've been fighting for my life the last 3.5 years. I really just got released from the hospital, so, I feel relaxed for the first time here in Europe since I got cancer. I got AML just one day. And she just looks at me real calm and she says, me too. And I just stopped. I says, what? You got cancer? Yeah. I says, AML? Yeah. No. Moves her little shirt right there. Shows me her Fukushima fish hook. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, fall 2011. And before I even say it, she says, just like it, boom, just smacked me like I got hit by a fucking train. Because it was horrible. She showed me pictures, shriveled up to fucking nothing. She says, my mom was a nurse. And she says, my mom told me, when I said, you're not going to fucking cry. You're not going to feel sorry for your fucking self. You're going to fucking fight. You're going to get intense and you're going to fucking fight. And my mom told you, you're just going to fight and you're just going to fucking go on. You're going to fight your ass off and you're just going to keep on moving. You're going to keep moving. She said, thank God I had her. I said, that's the only reason you live. That's exactly what I did. I'm like, fuck you, fuck this disease, fuck these fuckers that gave it to me. I'm fighting back. So she did. I said, well, you have. I looked right at her. You and I have a bond. She says, oh, yeah. You have an obligation to give back because how many of those people that were in the unit with died? She says, most of them. Which there's so much of it over there because it rained after Chernobyl. I saw so many fucking Chernobyl necklaces in Austria. I could not believe it. Bree and I went to fucking dinner. We sat right in the cafe. We sat right in the cafe that Gustav and Schiller and Freud and Hitler and, well, maybe not Hitler. He was a homeless little fucker. He didn't get in there. Lenin, Stalin, all of them. That great painting's right there. Showed me, told me about it in 86. She had young children. She got sick. Just so many of their family. It rained there the next day. And so that's, I believe, well, they were anti-nuclear even before that. They come in, but there's a history in Vienna. There's a history in Austria of educated people, of knowledge. Thus, the nuclear industry preys on ignorance. That's why they're anti-nuclear. The more educated and the higher unignorant, post-ignorance people are, the more anti-nuclear they become. And the more they wake up one day and just realize, oh my God, this is the greatest fucking repressive cash cow mass murdering apparatus in human history. It doesn't take that much. And then they tricked you to think, oh, you got to be a rocket scientist. You're nuclear for bullshit. Fuck it. What a scam shakedown that was. Mikko Kakko, that fucker, because he's lost his fucking mind, by the way. He's fucking crazy. But the one thing he talked about, they find these guys, give them a fellowship, send them to Berkeley. They all go to Berkeley, the head of the snake. They still have my dad's tonsils there in the thing when they fucking moved him to the test site. They still have them. I have all the data. Everybody does it. It's out there. People just turn their head, just like me in the unit. I'm like, you want to come into the fucking bone marrow trance? Come on. I used to invite on my videos, on fucking Facebook, all these people. Come on, let's go. People live right by me. Oh, Kevin, as long as you're just laying down. Me and this girl talked about it. She says, yeah, as long as you're laying down and not fighting back. Oh, man, they all love you, and they're all gung-ho. Oh, yeah, They're not about to go in there and see it because they're afraid of their own mortality. They're afraid of their own mortality. So he talked about it. When he talked about the sexual repression in the female and the male, by the way, he's talking not just actual intercourse. He's talking, I mean, wow. You go to Prague, you go to Budapest, you go to Vienna, you know, walk around late in the evenings, whatever, you'll see couples or, you know, maybe people that even just met. I mean, going at it. French kissing, just, I mean, it's very common over there, very common. You know, it still exists kind of like it did here because that's part of humanity. Their food, they're socialized. You don't see people talking on the phones much over there. You really don't. People sit around and communicate with each other. They walk through the streets, you know, the pedestrian. The streets are shut down. People have control. But he talked about they will become cognitive discourse won't find. You could take a person and prove, and the Mormon Church is the perfect fucking example. Is all our families got hijacked from Denmark, wherever. I met with a lot of family over there. They didn't know. They lied to them. These Mormon missionaries lied to them, but they, you know, they couldn't prove that this Joseph Smith tale was a lie. Well, with the internet now, the last 10 years, it's been proven that the script that he had, that supposedly he bought from the fucking mummy, was the Abrahams, and he fucking said he watched it and redid it over and over and over, and it supposedly was burned in the Chicago fire. Well, it shows up at the Metropolitan. They have it, and they make a deal, big deal, in 87. They grant it, it's written in their document. It's their holy grail of their document. Well, now it's been proven. Nobody could read Egyptian then. Now it's proven that he lied. You know, he spent days, not just, oh, you know, this is not, that he spent days with malice lying. Oh, yeah, I read it, and, you know, he's got everybody going around, he gathered all this money to buy it, all this thing, and it's been proven it's a lie. So the Mormon Church comes out and says, we have a problem with the internet. No, they have a problem with the freaking truth. They're bleeding members hardcore because of this. Because they didn't pivot off this and, you know, do what religion does, just make it up as you go, Catholics. But, no, they doubled down on the lies. So that's what we call dogma. And, you know, I did my dogma burgers, all that. So that's what America is. America's fucking, they don't give a fuck about that. And I proved that. I mean, my accuracy on the truth going on my YouTube site, financially, economically, socially, all this. It's impossible. You got to think about it. I'm like, God, wow, talk about the light, Cassandra shining in me. Call silver to the day on the top, gold to the day on the top, all these different hypotheses on the greatest catastrophe that ever happened. I'm the guy. I mean, those videos, that's how important my videos are. By the way, I've been really spending a lot of time backing up my videos because you want something done, do it yourself. So I've been, you know, reposting a lot of them on my Facebook page. You know, I'll continue to do that. It's slow, tedious, hard process. I've been posting a lot to Daily Motion. I need them backed up. I need them mirror imaged. I need them copied. I need them whatever. Fuck, they need to be everywhere. I've never filed a copyright fucking claim against one person. And a lot of people fucking steal my content. You know, people that go after me, I don't care. Go ahead. Because I have the truth on my side. I've done nothing but tell the truth in a very organic, authoritative way. My videos need to stand there, credible historical documents. And they are. Amazing. That's what artists do. So I've done it. And I don't know how this will go forward, because I am out of money, but that's okay. I've learned to live. I used to use that song, I learned to live half a life. I did learn to have a life, but I've come out of it. I want my full life back. And I'll get it. This is a process, and this is just the way it had to be. All my money, gone. Fuck. $1.8 million fucking bill. But, my bill's all but paid. And I'm alive. I remember one of the nurses, Kevin, all this hard work that you've done your whole path and your fucking journey. By the way, I'm going to do the first plaster job that, just for a friend, to see if I can do it. I'll just plaster a little foundation here in a few minutes. I'll video it. I haven't touched a Hawking trial since. It's going to be a big deal. I'm going to get really covered up. So I'll let you know how it goes. Stand to it. Watching the world die, watching the ocean die and the animals die. And we did it. Our generation, my generation, too bad we all didn't die before we got old, before the future of the earth, we done so old. Stand tuned.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twin Gate.